Hi everyone, welcome to English for You. I'm Kat.
And I'm Elsie. So Kat, I got a question for you.
Yes.
Are you a left-hander or a right-hander?
I'm a right-hander, like most people, I think.
你是右撇子.
Yeah, how about you?
I'm a right-hander too.
Yeah, do you know people who are left-handers though?
Not really.
No, really?
I used to have some classmates
that
were left-handers.
Oh, interesting. My brother and my grandfather are both left-handed.
Oh, how do they feel about it?
I mean, it's just part of their normal life. I don't know. My grandfather never talked about it. I just noticed he wrote with his left hand. And my brother, sometimes he has problems with people sitting next to him in class or something. And it's hard to write, because if somebody's on your left and they use their right hand and you use their left hand, your hands are kind of close to each other. You might bump each other.
Right. So today we're gonna look at their lives, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because, it wasn't always okay to be left-handed. They used to force people to be right-handed. But now we have kind of a holiday, sort of, to celebrate people who use their left hand to do things. And so we're going to talk about that in our article today. Let's go ahead and take a look.
Reading.
Let's live like lefties for a day. My friend Google says that today is Left-Handers Day. As a left-handed person myself, every day is a left-hander day for me. This international event is to raise awareness of difficulties that us lefties have to face in our everyday lives. For example, the simple act of enjoying dinner becomes a pain, as I'm always wrestling with my neighbor's elbow. And have you ever sat at one of these horribly uncomfortable college desks? They just don't work for lefties. We can never rest our arms on them when we write. We also hate those 3-ring binders. There is so much discomfort as you try to squeeze your left hand between the rings to write properly. I realize most of you right-handers don't often think about us left-handers. But as today is Left-Handers Day, why not try spending it being left-handed? It might make you think more about the struggles that your left-handed friends face every day. All right, our article starts out by saying, my friend Google says that today is Left-Handers Day. Now, we don't literally have a friend named Google. Of course, it's talking about the website, who is, our friend in finding information on the internet. But it's Left-Handers Day. And so we call people by the hand they use to write, to eat, to do most of the things that they do. We would call them left-handers and right-handers. Or you call somebody left-handed and right-handed as the adjective. Or if you want to be casual, you can say they're a lefty or a righty. So I'm a righty. Elsie's also a righty. Yeah.
OK, 那今天呢，课文一开始说我朋友 Google 说今天是左撇子日。那我们要学学看左撇子、右撇子要怎么说。刚 Kat 已经提到了，左撇子你可以叫他 left-handers。右撇子 right-handers。那如果你要用比较 casual 轻松一点的方式说，左撇子呢就是 lefties， 那右撇子就是 righties。那如果你想要用的是形容词，你可以用 left-handed 来形容左撇子，那右撇子我们就用 right-handed 来形容。
So the person who's writing this article or speaking this article is saying, as a left-handed person myself, every day is a left-hander day for me.
这里的 as 它作为介系词用来表示身为、作为。反身代名词 myself 它则是用来强调我本人、我自己。所以这边他说的是身为一位左撇子，每天对我来说都是左撇子日。
So you could also say as a Taiwanese person myself, as an American myself, if you're talking about other people who are like you, you can say that about yourself too. So anyway, we're talking about what it's like to be a left-hander, and we're talking about Left-Handers Day. And it says this international event is to raise awareness of difficulties that us lefties have to face in our everyday lives. So we're raising awareness, and to raise awareness awareness is a noun that means to know and understand a lot about what is happening in the world or around you. So if you are trying to raise awareness, you're trying to let people know a little bit more about something or kind of bring it into their lives a little bit more. And especially if you're not left-handed, then you might not have a lot of awareness about what left-handed people go through or what lefties go through. So if you want to have a little bit more knowledge, then you should pay attention to something like Left-Handers Day. It's good to have awareness of people who are different from you. So an example sentence for awareness could be, Thora is only 5 years old, but she has a great awareness of other people's feelings already. So that would mean that she is, she knows that other people have feelings and she's kind of trying to keep them in mind and be aware of them in her life.
代表他能意识到别人的情绪是什么。所以呢 awareness 这个字名词代表认识、意识。To raise awareness of something 代表的是唤起对某事的认识。再给同学们一个例句哦。The movie is to raise awareness of environmental issues 代表这部电影是要唤醒对环境议题的认识。那课文说到的是这个国际的活动是要让大家知道我们左撇子每天所面对的困难。They must face a lot of problems every day.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not big problems, but little problems that happen a lot, and can kind of make your life seem a little bit annoying.
Right.
So one of the problems that we see in the article is, for example, the simple act of enjoying dinner becomes a pain, as I'm always wrestling with my neighbor's elbow. Yeah, like I said, if somebody's sitting on your left and you are a left-hander, that can really be a pain. And a pain means, it's annoying, it's frustrating. It's not literally hurting you, but it's making you go, this is terrible. But they're always wrestling with their neighbor's elbow. And the elbow is a noun that you should know, especially if you want to describe your body parts. It is the joint or the point where your arm bends in half. So if you, look at your wrist, that's between your hand and your forearm, your lower arm, and your elbow is between your lower arm and your upper arm. So that's, and if you hit your elbow, it can actually hurt quite a lot because there's a special nerve there that can, cause you a lot of pain. So an example sentence talks about just that. I hit my elbow on the table and it hurt really badly. Now it hurts to move my arm. Ouch.
Elbow 这个字呢，代表是你的手肘。那我们一个人有2个手肘 ，two elbows。那刚刚呢，在课文的句子里面，我们还看到一个连接词是 as， 它表示由于、因为，可以跟这个 since 或 because 来代换使用。所以课文的 for example 举例来说之后接的是想要享受晚餐，却变成一件痛苦的事情。But what does wrestling with my neighbor's elbow mean?
Well, to wrestle has a couple of different meanings. Most literally, it's a sport. It means fighting somebody by holding and pushing them, not by hitting or kicking them. But also, wrestling can just mean you have a hard time moving something. Like if you have some heavy bags at the airport, you're wrestling with your heavy bags. You're trying to pull them, but you're having a really hard time. I think they're not really actually fighting with their neighbor here. It's just that, if your left elbow is next to their right elbow, then maybe your elbows are kind of competing for space.
所以呢 wrestle 这个动词代表角力，或者是在移动上是有困难的。所以课文这边说到的是吃饭还要用手肘跟邻居角力，手肘和手肘会打架。
So that would be a pain for sure. That would be very annoying. And another problem that says in the article, and have you ever sat at one of these horribly uncomfortable college desks?
I hate those desks.
Yeah, me too. Well, actually, as a right-handed person, I'm not that bothered by it because they're made for right-handed people.
We can't really complain.
That's true, but apparently for left-handers, they are horribly uncomfortable. Horribly is this adverb we see from the adjective horrible, which means very bad or unpleasant. You could say horribly is kind of like really or extremely, but only in a bad way. So if you say somebody's horribly ugly, that's kind of mad. That's kind of bad, actually. Or something something is horribly smelly. It means it smells really, really bad. So you can use horribly as a way to say extremely in a bad way. So it's really, really bad. An example could be, although nobody in the house died in the fire, their kitchen was horribly burned and had to be rebuilt.
Horribly 这个副词代表可怕的、极糟糕的。那这边呢，在课文中是用来修饰后方的形容词 uncomfortable， 不舒服的、不舒适的。那课文这边就问我们啦，你有没有坐在极度不舒适的大学椅上面过？ They are designed for right-handers, like
That's
we
right.
said before.
Yeah, so those college desks that we're talking about is the one where on the right of it, you have kind of an armrest, and then in front of you is a little desk.
Right.
But you're supposed to be able to rest your right arm on the armrest. But if you're a left-hander, then there's nothing for you to rest your arm on. You just have to hold it in the air while you write. So that would be really uncomfortable, for sure. And the article says the same thing. They just don't work for lefties.
他们就是不符合左撇子的需求，因为左撇子的手臂到底要放在哪边才可以写字啊？没有办法。
Yeah, exactly. And we can never rest our arms on them when we write.
这边的动词 rest 我们要解释为把东西放在或是靠在某个地方，所以我们写字的时候呢，永远无法将我们的手臂靠在上面。就像刚 Kat 说的，我们要悬空写，没有办法 rest our arms on it.
Have you ever seen a college desk for left-handers?
No.
I don't think I have either. And we had them in my university, but I don't think there were any left-handed desks, which, yeah, that would be very annoying if you wrote with your left hand.
So how do they write properly?
I don't know. I mean, there's lots of things that are designed for right-handed people, but if you're a left-handed person and you're writing left to right, then that could also cause you some problems, like you might smear your ink. You might make it go, kind of smudgy and not look so good because your hand is going across it.
But you can build some muscles.
That's true, but also you shouldn't have to, right?
Right.
And the article says yet another problem, which I have never thought about before. We also hate those 3-ring binders. Ouch, yeah, that would really hurt.
3-ring binders 所以指的是3环活页簿，我们也很讨厌3环活页簿。Why?
Well, I guess it seems like they'd be very uncomfortable, and that's what the article says. There is so much discomfort as you try to squeeze your left hand between the rings to write properly. Ouch. Yeah, and those 3 rings, they're really big, and they're really hard.
Oh, so they're kind of in the way,
Yeah,
right?
they would be.
Okay.
I think spiral ring notebooks might be a little less uncomfortable, but you never know. I mean, they might also be uncomfortable.
那这边呢，我们看到 discomfort 这个名词呢，代表的是不适，也就是 comfort 的相反字，在字首加上 dis 就可以了。那形容词呢，不舒适的我们用 uncomfortable， 舒服的、舒适的我们用 comfortable。你会发现它是字首 un 的变化，所以呢，我们稍微提一下哦。字首如果是 un 开头的，代表不、无、反，也就是一些负面的字，像是 uncomfortable 不舒服的、令人难受的。comfortable 刚刚讲过了，那就是相反字，舒服的、舒适的。还有像是 happy、unhappy 快乐、不快乐的，或是 lucky、unlucky、common、uncommon、trustworthy、untrustworthy 这些都是同样的形容词。
So you can use un to make it a not.
是的，这一类可以用字首的 un 来做变化。那再来呢，我们还看到 as 这个字又出现了，这边表示的是当点点点的时候，随着点点点的发生，那跟 when 还有 while 的意思是相近的。
So, yeah, 3-ring binders, also a problem for lefties. And what do they have to do? They have to squeeze their left hand between them. Now, squeeze here is a verb, but in this case, it's always followed by an adverb or preposition. So we would say squeeze into, squeeze through, squeeze under, that kind of thing. And what it means is moving into or through a really small and crowded space, or kind of pressing together the opposite sides of something. Like if you are pressed your hand together between your pen and the 3-ring binder, it might kind of hurt, especially if you're trying to write properly in that little space between them. Yeah, you don't want to be squeezed into someplace. It's not comfortable. It causes you a lot of discomfort. So, yeah, squeeze is our verb here. And here's an example. I tried to squeeze into my old dress, but it was too small, and I ended up tearing it. That's too bad. And we have an adverb to talk about writing properly. Now, properly is meaning in a way that is accurate or correct. So if you have proper writing, that means your writing is good. It looks nice, it looks clean, and you are starting from the right place on the page. Now, if you want to write properly, you have to start from the left. And if you are a left-hander, that can be really hard. So if you want to do it properly, that means you want to do it in a correct way. So an example sentence for properly might be, students in Chinese-speaking cultures must spend many hours learning how to write characters properly. Isn't that right?
没错 And I hate doing it.
Oh man, I can't imagine.
好啦，刚刚我们先看到 squeeze 这个动词呢，代表硬塞、塞进或是挤入。所以像是 Cat 的例句给的是 squeeze into my old dress， 也就是挤进去我那件旧洋装。那课文上说的是 squeeze your left hand between the rings， 也就是要挤进那一些环状物之间，然后要来写字。那要写什么样的字呢？当然要好好写字，正确的写字。所以后面有一个副词叫做 properly， 代表正确地、准确地。那在课文当中是修饰前方的动词 right。所以课文讲的是当要将左手挤入环与环之间以正确书写的时候，实在是很不舒服。It's really uncomfortable.
Yeah, it must be. Now, the article goes on to say, I realize most of you right-handers don't often think about us left-handers. That's true, actually. I don't really. Sorry about that.
所以这边他说，我理解你们右撇子人，大部分都没有想到我们这些左撇子。
But as today is left-handers day, why not try spending it being left-handed? Why not? I have a lot of reasons why not. But first we should learn what why not means. So when you say why not with a verb, usually an infinitive verb, it's a suggestion for somebody to do something, especially to try something interesting or exciting or something you should take a chance to do. So you could say, why not do it? Why don't you do it? You might consider doing it. You should try doing it. These are all different ways to suggest something.
所以呢 why not 加上原形动词，它是用于提出建议，代表为什么不做某事呢？那它就等于 why don't you do something， 也就是 why don't you 后面加上原形动词。那我们再补充几个例句 Why not try getting up earlier？ 为什么不试着早点起床呢？或者是 Why not eat healthier， 为什么不吃得健康一点呢？那再来呢，课文里面我们又看到了 as 这个字，它这边一样也是表示由于因为，跟 since 跟 because 的意思相近。所以呢，課文說到的是，但是因為今天是左撇子日，何不用這一天來當左撇子呢？ You wanna try?
I don't know.
I'll sound like you want to try.
I'll think about it. But I think, writing left-handed, that's something you have to learn how to do for years, When you're a little kid, even with your right hand or your hand that you end up using, you don't write that well. So writing with the hand that you don't use, it looks terrible.
So we can't write properly with our left hand.
Unless you practice a lot. So why not? I mean, that's one reason why not. But, there might be other ones too, like maybe you just are not good at using your left hand for certain things. But they say you should try it anyway. It might make you think more about the struggles that your left-handed friends face every day. So we're talking about struggles here, which we've been talking about the entire time. Things that are a pain, things that are annoying. Struggle is a noun that means something that takes a long time to do or a lot of effort to do and something that's really difficult for you and causes a lot of problems. So an example sentence might be, we all go through struggles in life, but they can help us make ourselves into stronger people.
Struggle 这边当名词用哦，代表挣扎、努力。那这边课文说到的是当左撇子之后，可能会让你多想到你左撇子朋友每天要面对的挣扎。那最后呢，我们来为同学们整理一下 as 这个字的不同用法。今天出现了很多次，我们一并整理给大家哦。第一个，当 as 作为从属连接词的时候根据前后文的关系，有以下几种的含义。第一个，可以表示当点点点的时候，或是随着点点点的发生。跟 when 还有 while 的意义是相近的，所以这边给同学们一个例句哦。For example, as I was about to leave the party, he showed up with another girl. 当我要离开派对的时候，他跟另外一名女孩一起出现了。再来第二个，它可以表示由于因为，那就是跟 since 或 because 意义相近。像是我们可以说 As it was getting late, I decided to call him the next day. 因为时间已经晚了，所以我决定隔天再打电话给他。再来呢 as 也可以作为介系词，用来表示身为、作为的意思，像是我们今天课文的一开头的用法。那这边例句说的是As a doctor, he always tells his patients that it's important to exercise regularly. 身为一位医生，他总是告诉他的病人要规律运动。再来呢 as 还可以当作副词使用哦，它能够表达和点点点一样的意思。像是 The iced tea is not as sweet as your mango juice. Do you want to take a sip? 冰红茶没有像你的果汁一样那么甜，你要喝喝看吗
？All right, so that's the end of our article, actually.
Right.
We've learned all about Left-Handers Day and some of the struggles that left-handers face that you as a right-handed person, or if you are a left-handed person, might not know about or know about. It depends on which hand you use to write with. And be glad if you are a left-handed person that you are able to use your left hand because they used to not let people use their left hand. It used to be forbidden.
Yeah, maybe I'll try to be a left-hander today.
Yeah, I will try and write with my left hand a little bit too. All right, so with that, let's go to our For You chat.
For You chat.
All right, our For You chat question for today. Use your weaker hand to do simple tasks like writing. How does it feel? Would you be able to do it for a whole day?
It feels super awkward.
Yeah, we just tried
write properly.
it. Yeah, and it's very hard. You have to focus. Like when you're using your strong hand, then you can just do it without thinking. But when you're using your weak hand, you have to think about everything that you're doing.
Yeah, and when you're writing, you have to control your pen really hard.
And if your muscles are not used to it, then you can't do it very well. I think I could eat with my left hand, though. I think that's no problem.
Eat with chopsticks or?
Well, maybe with chopsticks or with a fork and a knife, you know, that kind of thing.
Really?
Yeah.
You think you can eat with chopsticks? With your left hand?
Okay, maybe I shouldn't speak too soon. I would have to try that. Yeah.
Try it later and tell me
I will let you know for sure. All right. So that's all the time we have. We hope that you've enjoyed learning about Left-Handers Day. You can put yourself in the place of a left-hander or in the place of a right-hander if you are a left-hander by using your weak hand for a day and trying it out. We will see you next time. Good luck. Bye.
Vocabulary Review.
Awareness. The group is spreading awareness about some serious environmental problems. Elbow. Billy couldn't bend his elbow after he hit his arm on the table. Horribly. Jason felt horribly ill last week. He had a really bad sore throat and a fever. Squeeze. The mouse squeezed itself through the tiny hole in the wall and disappeared. Properly. Carl made so many mistakes because he was not properly trained for the job. Struggle. This movie is about women's struggle to get the right to vote in the UK.
智慧小补帖
Wrestle. Discomfort.
以上节目是由活用空中美语制作，活用空中美语杂志，请洽询全国各大书店。如欲索取试听教材，请来电02-2364-4000，02-2364-4000，或上网查询，网址是 www.english4u.net，www.english4u.net。